Hello, hello, hello. It's Mary Kay Smooth here. How you doing? Well, it's been a crazy week here we're having with a lot of fluffery, I'm going to call it. But the good thing is that we had a wonderful debate last night for the New Jersey governor's seat, and I enjoyed it, especially the last round when they really get to tie it up. I enjoyed it, and also, you know, the plane crashes keep coming, fast and furious. Um, that's not a good thing, but God is gonna help us get through this because we're on a roller coaster right now. Okay, but we're not gonna focus on the negative. We're gonna go to the positive. School was lovely today, and I'm getting myself ready. As you can see, I'm doing little things. I'm going to do something with my hair. I want to grow my hair out. So I'm not letting you see, I haven't let Tanisha trim it down. We're going to come up with something. Um, and so I'll be messing around with it for a little bit to figure it out. I have looked at braids, twists, uh, more natural stuff, but longer. And so we're going to get it together here in a minute when I figure out what it is. Because I know it's a little longer than you'll have seen it in a long time. But I had long hair before. Hair happens. I just didn't have long gray hair because then I was not facing the fact that Charlie and Evelyn were coming out in my hair. No, both my parents had gray. My father had gray for a very long time. And mommy, she ended up grayer than daddy. At the in the end when she was all gray, she was grayer than daddy. So we're gonna do our thing. We're gonna figure something. I want something new for this year, so I'm gonna go different. Um, let's get it on the road, guys. Um, so, and you can get ready for some makeup too. When I change my hair, you know I'm going to mess with that makeup. Uh, and Chantel wants me to. She's going to teach me this new methods. Yeah, there wasn't contour. Well, there was contour and stuff, but not to the degree that they're using different tones here, down the nose, sides of the nose, and the chin. They weren't doing all of that um, in my IBM days. So I have to go to my youngins to find out exactly what's the algorithm that's going on. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, do I feel something? No, I don't. I thought I felt a bump coming. So I'm gonna start making little improvements, girls. Because by the spring, I want to have a whole new look. And you know what been happening to me? Tuesday morning, I woke up and I had a nosebleed. I have never had a nosebleed in my life. Saturday, which was a bad day, I got to tell you guys about that too. Saturday, I had a pretty bad nosebleed. I mean, it wasn't like profuse, but it was a lot more blood than the other one. And then today at work, I had a little spot of one too. So, I had this I have a doctor's appointment. I moved it up to Wednesday because I know that my nose is not bleeding for nothing. My blood pressure is not high. Well, it was a little elevated today, but because I went to the school nurse, but it wasn't high enough to make my nose bleed. So I'm going to the doctor Wednesday to see about that. But let me tell you all about Saturday before I get into this stuff. Yeah, I can do it in Saturday. I'm here with the dogs, y'all, and all of a sudden it started to get chilly. And I said, are my windows cracked or something? Because I have replacement windows, but I replaced them in like 2000. So I know now they tell you um, that replacement windows have a life of 20 years or so. So I'm going maybe, and those windows in my living room were the first ones I did because when I moved here, my grandmother had ugly curtains and stuff, and so I immediately took those down and didn't realize that it was keeping cold air out of the house. And so I had to come up with something. I moved here in the February, and January, February, March can be our bad time. So I am getting a bump. It's not that I don't have. Oh yes, I do feel it right there. Okay, so I got to put something on that. Um, it was that I felt like it was freezing in there, so I went over to the thermostat, and the thermostat said 67, and it was on 72. And this happened one other time, but it came back. Nope, it didn't come back. And I called the guy that does my boiler, and he didn't answer the phone or the text. So I called one of the fellows that worked with him when they installed my boiler, and I got him. And so I had my cousin come over here to light the pilot, but it's a good thing that Dwayne did answer the phone because I didn't know I had an automatic pilot. You don't take the match and light it, it lights itself. So the good thing was that he answered the phone and told me that Kevin was out of town. So he talked Maurice through testing for the thermostat, and it seems that my thermostat was malfunctioning. Um, it was not the batteries in the thermostat, so I don't. It just wasn't turning the pilot was trying to turn on, but it wasn't turning on. So I could only when we bypassed the thermostat, the boiler came on, so that showed that it wasn't the boiler, that it was the thermostat. So I could only run the boiler, and then turn off the. I have a box on my steps that is the actual breaker for the boiler. So I could only run like a half an hour because we actually didn't know what setting it was on, 80, if it was on 40, but it was blazing, so we know it wasn't on 40. Okay. So I could only run it for a little while and then turn it off. I was nervous all night. And so I ran it a little bit, and then it ended up um being 50, 54 in the morning. So I got up, I went to Home Depot to find a thermostat. I have a Honeywell. I used to have the one with the mercury, the little round Honeywell, but then I went to the programmable one. And I actually, when I changed the boiler, PSE&G had given me a a thermostat that was Wi-Fi, the Google Nest, but it didn't work because I don't have this thing called a C wire, which I think that's power because the non-C wire ones all run on two AA batteries. So the first one I bought at Home Depot, I had to take it back. It looked just like mine, but it needed a C wire. So I took it back and I got one. I called Honeywell before I went to Home Depot, and they told me what I told you, that the what do you call it, that the thermostats that need a C wire are the Wi-Fi ones, and the Honeywells that don't have the C wire, I mean that don't have Wi-Fi, are the ones that don't require a C wire. So I bought another one and I came home, and Kevin still didn't call me. So I went to the YouTube and saw how to change it. And I called my cousin Maurice. Maurice, my cousin that lives around the corner. He's like Mr. Any kind of vehicle, plane, bike, car, or boat. He can fix it. So he came and we got the thermostat on, and then he went back because he's the one that disconnected the thermostat from the boiler. He went back and put it back on the way it was, and thank the Lord, my boiler came back on, and I had that joker turned to 74 last night. We were cooking upstairs. It was woof, it was good, feeling warm again, because 54 in a brick house is not a good. It is not good in the wintertime, but it was 13 degrees this weekend on at night, so I was jacked up. And then I had the nosebleed on top of that. I went outside to get wood so I could light the fireplace, because I cleaned the fireplace. I swept it all out and scooped it and got everything out of it. I cleaned the little grate thing that you set the wood. So I went outside and I got some wood out of the garage, and I lit the fireplace, and it was going good. The temperature started coming up. Maurice actually went outside for a little while. He was messing with the camper and getting a battery out of it. And so then the temperature started to rise, but it was slow. It took until like from like 4 till like 10 to really get back to a normal temperature. But I had the fireplace going, and me and the dog stayed in the living room with the fireplace, and I had the nosebleed on top of that after I came in with the wood. So we did it, and then today I had another nosebleed, and I never in my life, these three nosebleeds I've had last Tuesday, Saturday, and today, I have never had a nosebleed in my life, so I don't even know how to stop it. But I called one of my cousins, and they said, take some tissue and make a roll and stick it in the nostril that's bleeding. I didn't even know that both nostrils don't bleed, because that's not something that ever happened to me. But I am happy to have heat, happy to know how to stop a nosebleed, and I'm going to the doctor on Wednesday to make sure there's nothing. Well, there's something that's causing it, but I don't know if it's dry air, because that's what my friends thought the first one. So I had been running the humidifier, but my Nelly has dementia, and she's walking around in circles sometimes, and she circled her little ass to the wire for the humidifier and dragged it off the daggone nightstand, and it's broken. So I'm jacked up. I'm jacked up. So what I did was I put a pot of water on the radiator in my bedroom, prayerfully. It'll moisturize the air until I get another humidifier. Because I usually do that if I get a cold. I usually put that on. I got it when I got COVID, and so I use it when I get a cold because it made me more comfortable. But I have radiators, so they tell me that's dry heat, and heat. My bedroom is usually always hot because heat rises, and I usually run my temperature at like 72, 73 because on my main floor I have three entrances, so you know I need to keep that. It kind of can let a little air in when you go in and out because I let the dogs in the back. I'm out the front like that, so you get cold air. So it is warmer upstairs because the boiler runs a little harder. But it was a crazy little weekend. But positive comes out of all. Thank the Lord. He always helps me when these things happen, even with the puppies. I've had some events. But I'm gonna keep going. You know your girl. I'll be Mary Kay Smooth or whoever. So now we're gonna work on the hair and some makeup and get it going. And you see, I am getting a bump right there. And so I need so I need some, yes, charcoal mask. I'm just gonna put just enough to go on the bump that didn't come yet, but that's going to come if I don't do something. And I'm going to leave that there all night. And it'll dry it up and everything will be copacetic. That's the one thing I do love about the Mary Kay, man. I can come up with things that'll fix it. Fix it. So then I might as well do me you know, one of my favorites, the gels. And then I'll be good to go. I'll be looking crazy, but I'll be good to go. Because, I didn't sleep. I got some last night, but I didn't make up yet. So I really got bags under the eyes. So try to check on your heat, girls, because that was a mess. Me and the dogs, we were cold. I had blankets and everything, but you know what? I'm going to buy an electric blanket because I used to have one, but I don't know what I did with it. So I'm going to buy another one because I could have been in my bed, and I don't use heaters. My dad, he used to be against heaters because I know there's different technology now, guys. I do know that, but I was raised not to do heaters. So I don't do heaters because my father, a lot of fires start from the heaters. So I know y'all said she looking crazy, but yeah, I need this under my eyes because I haven't gotten sleep. Last night I got a bit, but my Nelly I'm gonna start I'm gonna start videoing her. She's 98. She walks in circles sometimes, man. And I'm going, Nelly, please lay down and go to sleep. She don't hear me. She's in her dementia state. And I know you guys might not know, but dogs do get dementia. And my Nellie is 98. She'll be 105 in April. So she's getting a little bit of it. But then she runs around. She's playing with the other dogs. She's eating fine. But then all of a sudden you'll see her and she's going in circles. Or she'll go and face into the corner and just stand there. And you're like, oh my God, Nellie. And then when I touch her, she comes back and she'll give me the side eye and start bobbing and weaving and want to play. But when she's in one of them things in the middle of the night, she's walking around in the bedroom. You could hear, oh my God. I want to snatch her. And when she snatched that daggone humidifier off the night tape, oh my God. Because she was walking, she could smell me. So she's walking in between my bed and the night table and caught that cord in her nose, caught the cord around, and she walked away and ripped that whole thing, fell on the ground. Girl, I was like, oh my, Nelly, in the middle of the night. So you know that jacked up my sleep that night. But I love her. Then you'll catch her in the bathroom. She's drinking water, drinking water, drinking water all night, making noises. Then she comes around and licks everybody. She's the mother of all the other three dogs and the cat. So it's been kind of crazy around this place. And when Zuki was at the dog hospital, she was looking around, going, "I know something's missing." That's why I'm telling you, I could do a TV show on her and do the voiceover. She was walking around, looking, looking, looking. I know somebody's missing. Who's missing? Oh, is there somebody missing? That's how she was just lost sometimes. And one day I caught her, she was kind of like nodding. I'm like, oh shit, she's getting ready to kick over. So I go over and I touch Nellie. She slid back and gave me the side. I jumped off the elevated bed and trotted away. Like, oh, she's going to give me some medicine or something. I can't let her. Now I'm downstairs. I can't let her come down the stairs because she can't really um she can't really down the stairs except my upstairs because they have carpet on them. She can do that. And she can fly down those stairs, but when she tries to fly down these slick stairs, oh boy, it's a scary thing. So I don't let her come in the basement anymore because she fell one time and it scared me. And she wasn't hurt or anything, but it just wasn't good. So I got to keep up my Nellie. You know, she's the elderly and I'm the elderly shit. And I call she's the welderly. She's an old person still kicking ass because she is running these little dogs around. But she's always been my alpha female. So, and she's the longest dog, Sharpei, I ever had at 14. She'll be 15 in April. So I'm gonna let her do her thing till the wheels fall off, you know? I don't unless she's in pain, I'm gonna roll with her. Because that's my girl. She took care of the house all this time. She runs all the dogs. In fact, if I call them and they don't come, she'll walk up behind them and hit them with her snout. Like, didn't you hear Maria talking to you? And she's a badass. She used to goose my mother when she was first born. She was the first one to break out of the whelping box. So that's my girl. I gotta let her do her thing till it's over. When she tells me it's over, then it's over. But right now, I'm gonna let my little Nellie do her thing. So, guys, I'm gonna sign off now. It's been wonderful. I love you, and it's gonna be a few changes to the hair soon.